Hello and welcome to the Neo News Today podcast. This is your host, Dylan, speaking with you. Today, I had the opportunity to have an excellent conversation with Yuan Gao. He is the head of marketing at Neo Global Development in Shanghai. In our conversation today, we got to have an introduction to the marketing team, discuss how it was built and how they operate. We also discussed Neo Global Development's strategy for engaging developers and their marketing efforts towards developers. We discussed the differences between marketing to the international communities versus marketing to the Chinese communities. We also had a chance to discuss the revamp of the Neo brand, which launched on October 17th, the 3-year anniversary of the Neo mainnet. And we also discussed a little bit about the launch of the new website, which Neo Global Development hopes to receive feedback from the community as well as incorporate statistical analytics moving forward. And then we finished the conversation with talking about motivating community members to start local events and how Neo is working at figuring out a system to make it easier for local community members to do this, potentially through sponsorship, funding, or social media support. And then lastly, we got a little teaser for where Defcon 3 might be taking place in 2020. So I hope you enjoyed listening to this conversation with Yuan of the Neo Global marketing team as much as I did. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Dylan of the Neo News Today podcast. I'm super excited to be speaking with Yuan Gao, the head of marketing at Neo Global Development. How's it going today, Yuan?
I'm doing great, Dylan. My name is Yuan. So currently I'm looking after the marketing side of Neo Global Development.
So this might be the first time that people in the Neo ecosystem might have heard a little bit about who you are. So could you tell us a bit about your background and some more information about you?
Okay. So my background is a little bit complicated. In terms of education, I had a degree in computer science and also in finance. I have done 2 master degree in the States. So that's pretty much about my education side. So after graduation, I've tried a fair share of different industries. So I have done retail. I have been in finance. I've been in charge of the growth team of a new media in China, and I also have my own startup. It's a lifestyle brand. So I kind of have different experience in different industry and different roles. So blockchain industry is very excited. So I get a chance to know blockchain and know about Neo before I join. So when I know there's an opportunity to work in marketing for Neo, it's very exciting for me. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Cool. So I've been behind the scenes at Neo Global Development and have seen there's a sizable marketing team. So what does the marketing team as a whole at Neo focus on? And what are some of the roles and responsibilities of smaller groups within that marketing team?
Sure. I'm gonna briefly explain how the marketing team works and maybe a little bit of history and introduction about how we build up the team. So currently we have 10 people, including me, in Neo Global marketing team. Actually the team is quite new. I think more than half of the members of the team join the team within 6 months. So we are still in the process of building up the capacity in different functions. I think we have done something right and done something wrong, but like we're trying to make things very smooth not just for Neo Global Development and New Foundation, but in the future we will also want to help community projects, ecosystem projects for their marketing and communities too. So that's basically about a general introduction about the marketing team. In terms of function, I think from my perspective, I divided the marketing function into 4 different parts. So the first part, I would call it community growth and community engagement. So we are maintaining social media channels. We are sharing informations and organize events, online events on Reddit, Telegram, and also other channels in China. So actually, there's a lot of work because we have to maintain 2 different sets of social medias. Because in China, it's totally different from the western part, actually the rest part of the world. So Charlene is looking after the community growth part, and in the team there's 2 more members, Songping and Shuxi. They are looking after international social medias and communities and Chinese social media and communities respectively. And that's the first part. And the second part is the PR side of the marketing team. Currently, we have 2 members on our PR team. So Stacy and Gina. Gina is on the international side, and Stacy is on the Chinese side. So we are trying to engage not just the blockchain media, but also like general commercial medias, and also recently our focus is trying to get in touch with tech medias, because one of our goal and important strategy is to engage developers. I think it's critical for the long-term growth of Neo. And so that's basically the PR team is trying to do, engaging with different kinds of media and trying to share our progress and information about Neo to a broader audience. And then there is content team. In the content team, there is actually 4 members. Adam and Elisa, they are focusing on writing articles, announcements, and everything. And then there's a design team in the content team, and we have 2 very talented designers, Doria and Xiaoli. So because we're doing the rebranding, that's as everyone probably already know, and so they help a lot, and they have been working very hard to make it happen. So I think in general the team is doing a great job. It's not perfect because we're still in the process of figuring out everything and trying to make it better, but personally, I'm quite happy with the progress. But yeah, we'll definitely try to do better in the future.
Well, it's been great to see where the marketing team has gone since last summer in 2018, and also where it's gone since you've joined in December of 2018.
Yeah, thanks. So for me, I think I'm not a traditional marketing guy. I don't have a lot of traditional wisdom, but I think that's good and bad. I mean, sometimes I can bring a new perspective, but sometimes I also feel like I could use a little bit traditional wisdom and yeah. Anyway,
I do want to talk about the rebrand, but really quickly, when you were describing parts of the team, you mentioned that you have international-based team members and China-based team members. So specifically, what I'd like to talk about is Neo Live, which is an event where Neo has been providing a forum for projects that are using Neo to describe some of the work that they have done. So I'm wondering, what are some of the differences between the Neo Live oriented towards English and international communities versus the Neo Live oriented in the Chinese communities?
So I think why we are dividing into two forums, like Neo Life in English and also in Chinese, because I think first of all, I think language is still a pretty big barrier. I think for many of the foreign projects, international projects, it is quite hard for them to showcase their projects in Chinese, and also like for Chinese projects, some of the founders the English is an issue. So I think now for the beginning phase, I think like the thing is we are trying to build up a rhythm. Like we have these weekly or bi-weekly events, and trying to provide a forum, a platform for projects to showcase their progress and products. So there's several things we are trying to improve in the future. So the first thing is like the format of the event. Sometimes it might not be the most efficient way to do it, and in time, it will be maybe the information would not be sufficient, and it might get spoiled. So in the future, we're going to try to improve the format and make it fun and make it informative. And the other thing, I think you raised up a very good point. So for the international community and Chinese community, there's probably a gap between it. So maybe I think in the future, the next step is trying to demonstrate the Chinese projects to international community and vice versa. So I think the online channel is very important because as you know, we have the Neo Community Summit in Shanghai in September. I think it's a great event. So the local team and the international community have the chance to meet and to bond. I think in the future that makes our understanding and our collaboration much more easier. So I think we're also trying to do the same thing on the online platform, trying to like share information across the border and everything. Yeah.
Cool. The Neo Community Assembly was an awesome event, not only to get to meet the team in Shanghai, but also to get to chat with the international developers. So switching gears a bit, tomorrow is October 17th, which is the 3-year anniversary of Neo Mainnet, and something that Neo Global Development has done to prepare for the Neo 3-year anniversary is a rebranding process. The rebranding will probably be one of the first big projects community members will see that you've worked on at Neo with the marketing team. So what was the inspiration behind the rebranding, and what's the vision for why you wanted to do the rebranding?
So first thing, I'm not sure I would call it rebranding, because from my point of view, I would rather call it branding revamp, because it's not like a major change and everything. We just want to refine the brand in terms of the visual communication and also a lot of messages we're trying to convey. So I think why we are trying to do this. So I summarize it a little bit, actually three words. The first word is evolving, because first of all, I think the visual identification of a brand should be evolving along with the progression of a project or organization. So in 2017, our project has been rebranded from N Shares to Neo. And I think ever since then, Neo has come through a very splendid journey within the 2 years. So there's a lot of things has already changed. The industry has evolved, and there's a lot of new things happening within the new community and also a new foundation at NGD. So in that sense, we feel like the branding, the visual identification part should also be evolving along with that kind of change. This year and next year, we have Neo 3 and the interoperability protocol initiative in the pipeline. So we feel like we should do something. I think now it is a very good time for us to refine all those visual representation of the brand as part of our new endeavor in the future. So that's the first thing, evolving. And the second part I want to emphasize is the heritage part of the brand. So I think the original Neo logo and VI is very well recognized within the community and also in the blockchain space. The principle we have is not to overturn everything, but we're trying to carry that heritage into a new era to make it better and to make it more modern and simple and easier to be utilized. So that's the second part. And I think the third part is about sharing. As I just mentioned just now, the mission of this branding revamp in our mind is to create a very modern looking, very minimalistic framework, not just for new foundation and new NGD to use, but we also are trying to establish a reference baseline for the whole community as a very unified visual language. So I think as an open source project, so it is a very good culture to share and to engage the community with that. So I think in the future maybe we can provide help to smaller projects and new communities, and we can together we can develop a unified visual communication language across the whole ecosystem. So I think in the past, NT and also COZ has set up a very good example and very high bar for us to follow. I think probably even now we are not quite there yet, but as I mentioned before, so it's a evolving, continued process. So we'll try to make it better along with community and everyone. And so in the future, maybe for the website and everything built at NGD, and for everything else built in the community and from core developer, they don't have to be exactly the same. They can have their own characteristics, but I think maybe there can be something can be shared within the framework. So that's just my hope. Yeah.
So I've seen some of the logos and new font changes leak, which is where a lot of our listeners might have first seen the changes to the revamp of the brand. But you're also redesigning the website. So do you mind talking a little bit about what that process was like?
Sure. Actually, I'll just talk about what's going to be happening within the branding revamp as whole, and then I'll introduce the website specifically. So, for this project, we are trying to tackle like just establish a basic framework for the visual part. So first thing we have done some small tweaks to the logo. We changed the color a little bit and make it more flat and more minimal. So I think in the past, Neo logo is very well recognized, but as the design language and trends start to shift and changing, we're not trying to catch every trend, but we're trying to pick up some very good characteristic from the change and integrate that into the new logo. So I think maybe it is very hard for me to like explain how the logo is going to be like. You guys can check it out from the website very soon. And along with the logo change, we have changed the typeface. We have set up some visual guidelines for the future uses, not only for the printed materials, but also for online use, social media use. I think that will make life much more easier for our social media operation side, and also to create a consistent brand image across different channels. And also, we have created some icon set. So this is just the first phase. I think in the future, eventually we want to develop it into a UI kit. So different applications, different tools, and infrastructure developers can use it across different applications. So that in the future, I think when you are using a tool or a website or anything or app or mobile app across different platforms, you would identify and have a familiar feeling of everything. So, well, it's very ambitious, but it will take some baby step, one step, step by step. So I will start from here. And regarding the new website, we feel like there's several parts issues about the old website. So first, the design is suboptimal. So that's the word I'm going to use. And also in terms of the content structure and content quality, in terms of how the information is organized to target different groups of audience and users, there's problems. So our new website is going to be the first iteration of the website. So in the future, we'll continuing improve the website according to feedbacks, and also we are bringing analytics. So I think we don't want to make every judgment just by our own thoughts, but we also want to base on statistics. So combining the comments and also the statistics, we'll continue to improve the website, and so trying to make sure everyone, different type of users using the website, they can easily find the information they want. So yeah. So it's the same thing. Tomorrow, October 17th, everyone can see the website. So please don't give very harsh comments. It's it's our first try. But I'm quite happy with it. Hope you guys like it too. Yeah.
So yeah, very excited to see the new design of the website. The revamp of the brand has probably taken up a lot of the marketing team's time. So now that you've pushed ahead to this milestone, can you give us a sneak peek into any projects that might be on the horizon for the NGD marketing team?
As I mentioned before, so first thing, So now one of our focus is trying to engage with the developer community. So one of the our work is going to shift it a little bit towards the developer community. So from the PR side, from the content side, and also like from event side, it's a full spectrum. We're going to trying to do this in full spectrum. So first thing, the focus is going to be trying to attract developers to join your community, and also another thing is we're trying to elevate the quality of our contents. So first thing, we are trying to refine all the existing messages on website and also from the documents. So we'll have an organized structure to talk about history about Neo, different components within the Neo tech stack, and also we will be collaborating with R&D at Neo and also with developer community and also core developer community to pump out high quality technology related content to not just the Neo community but also like trying to recruit developers from outside of Neo community. So I think after all, so the real value lies in the tech community. We're not trying to write the marketing like quote marketing pieces, just trying to promote. But actually, because I have tech background, I'm quite modest. My goal of new marketing is just trying to communicate effectively to new community and the broader audience in the blockchain space about our progress and also let them understand what's the technology about. So I'm just trying to do that. Yeah, and that's the second part. And the third part is so in terms of events and engaging offline. So first thing will be Neo will be attending more events in the blockchain space, just trying to showcase not just the technology and also to interact with other projects. I think being open and connected to those projects is very important for us. And second thing is earlier, like I think for the last 10 months or 10 months when I am working at marketing, so many of the events are hosted by NGD. Another thing is we are trying to motivate community members to start their own events and to trying to do that, we're going to figure out a system how to make it easier for everyone to start it, and also we'll be providing sponsorship and also funding and also other kinds of help like social media and also like content part, design part, just to make it as easy as possible for everyone to do their own events. Yeah.
Awesome. I think the community and myself very much look forward to that. I want to thank you so much for giving us some of your time today, Yuan. The Neo News Today podcast is very excited to share this information with the broader Neo community. So I guess before we let you go, I was wondering if you might have any spoilers or hints for where Defcon 3 might be taking place next year?
Well, like I'm thinking it every day. Like sometimes when I was in bed, I'm still thinking it. I have talked to Hongfei and also a lot of community members. So I think the event will probably happen in Europe. because the last two events are both in the States and on the West Coast. So this year, like it will probably happen in Europe, but we haven't decided yet. We'll need to talk to more people to see where is the most feasible location. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Yuan. We're really looking forward to seeing the revamp of the Neo brand and what future community input might look like.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. It's tomorrow, so I'm pumped. Yeah, well, I can't wait just to show it to everyone. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you on the podcast again sometime.
Yeah, definitely anytime. Thank you, Dylan.
Well, what did you guys think of that conversation with Yuan of NGD's marketing team? It was great to be able to get an inside perspective into Neo's marketing plan as well as their next steps. So if you'd like to keep up to date with Neo, you can visit their website at www.neo.org. And for more information about the broader ecosystem, you can follow along at Neo News Today at www.neonewstoday.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Neo News Today podcast, and we look forward to catching you on the next one.